Hi, you guys. Okay, I need to make sure everything's running smoothly. I don't know if you guys can see me. I don't know. Let me see. You see me. Okay, I have my chat on my phone. So I'm going to turn this down. Make sure that all of this is working. Hang in there. Okay, share. Okay, I see everything that I think that I need. Does everyone get on here at first and they're like, whoa? Okay. Hi. Okay, y'all see me look. Yes! Glitter on my face, you guys. This is like festival themed. I was like, I either have to go hard or not at all. I'm even wearing my Justin Bieber shirt because he's headlining Coachella. So we're doing it, and I'm going to Coachella. But, okay, you guys are going to see me looking back and forth over here at the chat on my phone and at you the whole time because I want this to be as interactive as possible. I want to be able to talk to all of you, and what fun is just staring at a blank screen talking to myself? That's no fun at all. So I'm actually going to set you guys right here. And let's get to sharing. I'm excited. 47 of you. Cool. I was wondering if this was going to be a good time. I'm on the West Coast, and I know that right now is like, it's Wednesday. Everyone's doing tans. It's busy. Okay. Let's share my screen. We have a solution shipment showing up right now, so if it gets loud, I apologize for that. Okay. Share. Make sure you guys can see this. Okay. Do you all see the big version of my screen right now? Yes? Perfect. Cool. My phone's a little bit lagged. I'm watching all of this on my phone too. It's a little bit lagged compared to what I'm seeing here. So hang in there with me. Okay, I'm excited. Let's do this. I was actually really nervous for some reason. I just spoke at Slay the Spray 2 months ago now in front of, oh my God, 200 people, and I wasn't as nervous as I am right now. I think it's because I could feel the energy in the room there, whereas here I've just been like pacing around my house for the past hour. Okay, let's get into it. So we're going to be talking all things Glazed Sunless today, a solution for every artist, simplifying the concept of custom spray tans. So since I can see my chat, I want to know, first of all, who that is here has been to every live presentation this week so far. Tell me in the comments. Because if you do, if you have, I applaud you. That's some serious dedication. Wow. You guys, that's awesome. Cool. I love that. And then I also want to know how long you have been in business for. So just drop it in the chat. 3.5 years, 3 years, 2 years, 10 years, Samantha. Oh, we got Gina. Wow, 13. Wow. 6. Hey, Ray. Awesome. So we just have artists of all ages here. Cool. I love that. And I also want to know who here has used Glazed Sunless before. Even if you don't use it currently in your business, I would love to just see like oh, I have or I never have. That way I can gear certain things to different people. Glaze is the only solution I use. Ah, cool. I know your name. Never tried it. Just sprayed a client. Hi, Tana. Just brought it in 2 weeks ago. You've been waiting for this session? Awesome. I'm excited. Cool. Since the beginning. You're wearing it right now. What are you wearing? Wow, you guys. I love this. Excuse me while I cry. Cool. I love that. On another note, even if you're not using Glazed Sunless, this is going to be more of my gauge as well. I want to know how confident you are in the solution that you are currently carrying in your business. I would say the main solution that you're carrying on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being you're not confident at all, you know nothing, and you walk into every tan just a mess. 5 being you're the most confident ever. I would love to see scale of 1 to 5. We got some confident girls here. You're confident, but you second guess yourself. Totally understandable. $45. Dan. I know that was a typo. And then last question that I have for you guys for now are, what are you hoping to get out of today's presentation? And you could just have it be one word. You could have it be a sentence. I'm just going to read a couple of them. Product knowledge. I think that's going to be the overall consensus here, but I always like to know. I really overthink things like this because I really want to be able to bring everyone what they want, and I want this to be something of value to you. Understanding products, gloss. We're going to talk about gloss, you guys. We have it. Deciding what solutions you want to carry. Awesome. Better understanding. Love it. Okay, well, we're going to get all of that today. I do have a section here at the end where we're going to be able to do some Q&A, so that will be fun. But for now, let's just dive in. So I'm going to share just a little bit about myself for those of you that might not know me. I have been spray tanning now for 12 years. I started when I was 21 years old out of just a spare bedroom in my house. That since has changed many times over the years. I opened a brick and mortar in San Diego. I now have Glazed Sunless, all of these things, but I've been in the sunless industry for 12, going on 13 years now. I started Glazed Sunless out of my studio apartment in 2022 with no idea what I was doing whatsoever when it came to the product-based side of business. All I knew was that I had a great and much-needed product for our industry. It was something that I was so confident in, and I had no game plan, I had no goal. All I knew was that I had to bring my vision to life, and I had to find a way to get this product into spray tan artist hands because it was quite literally changing my business as a spray tan artist. Next thing here is I always like to kind of preface every presentation that I do with the Glazed Sunless community is everything in the world to me. I believe that it is because of them and all of you that I am even where I am today with Glazed Sunless. It would be non-existent without the people that are supporting this every single day and really showing up. This is my biggest passion in life. I love what I do, and most importantly, I feel like every day that I show up to work, I am giving back to the industry that has honestly ultimately shaped me into the person that I am today. I mean, I've grown so much through being an entrepreneur, and I feel like every day that I show up for all of you, I'm also showing up for myself and all of these versions that I have now lived since starting my business 13 years ago. But yeah, so that's just my little preface here. Hi, Anna. Glazed Sunless was inspired by my 12 years in my own sunless business. Long before social media, the amazing free education that there is now in sunless educators, it was just me experimenting to create the perfect tan for my clients. And I will tell you right now, I was quite the mixologist back in the day. If there is anyone that was mixing every solution together, trying to custom create something different, it was me, and I was just shooting from the cuff every single day. And I think that that's really kind of what led to Glazed Sunless. But I wanted to bring something to market that had never been done before. And had it been done, I really don't think that Glazed Sunless would exist today. I did not start spray tanning 10 years ago and ever think like I want to start a product line someday. I found what was missing in our industry, and it really started to eat at me. And I was thinking, okay, no other brands are doing this. I think this is my sign. I'm going to take a chance on myself, and I'm going to create Glazed Sunless. And that something was pre-customized bronzers. And we will talk about this as I get further in. But that was my something. That was what I knew was missing, and that was something that I thought could deeply change and shift the industry. And then to follow that became further education, support, transparency, and most importantly, community. Our customers have direct access to me and to one another at all times. That is something that I really, really put at the forefront every single day. I wake up and I know that I am going to show up for my customers. I was determined to show up in a way that no solution line had yet for me. And I basically was always trying to find the answers for myself, and I didn't want my customers of Glazed Sunless to have to do that. I didn't want them to always feel like they were lost. I wanted them to know that no matter how busy I might be, even if it takes me a while to get back to them, especially now as we've grown, I am always in their corner, and I'm always there to support them and answer questions, even if it's a message at 1 a.m. because it happens all the time. Glazed Sunless had to be different in all aspects in order for me to really move forward with it. So over here on the left, what started with me packing a handful of orders in a small corner of my studio apartment in 2022 has led to us now, a team of 6 now, supporting thousands of sunless businesses across the US and Canada. And we are so grateful. It has been a dream come true and has become bigger than I could have ever even imagined. But this is just like a little visual that only in 3 years' time, that's on the left, I was literally just in this little corner by myself packing orders. And now we have just like this big operation that is fully functioning, and it is wild to think about and actually look at, especially when I look at the pictures side by side. I'm like, how was that only a few years ago? I don't know. Okay, let's dive in. So spray tanning has become much more complicated than it needs to be. And I think that this leaves artists feeling unsure, left second guessing, and oftentimes feeling not confident in what they're doing and the outcome that they're going to be able to provide for their clients. And I really wanted to change that. The industry teaches complexity. It teaches more products, more steps, more confusion. Somewhere along the way, simple got lost and artists are left feeling overwhelmed and unsure. I believe that in your business, your solution should be the least of your worries and the one thing that you are most confident and sure of. However, next to getting clients, it seems for most people to be one of the biggest worries that they have. I am such a strong believer that you should be having so much fun in your business, and all of your focus should be put on how am I going to get my next client in the door? How am I going to start my referral program or do X, Y, or Z? But yeah, I see so many spray tan artists so hyper-focused on the solution and product side of their business that they are I don't want to say neglecting the business growth aspect, but in some cases they are, and I don't want that. I want glazed customers to be so confident in what we're providing for them that they can show up in their business and say, okay, I got the solution down. I'm going to show up as best as I can for my clients. And we're going to grow the hell, sorry, I almost just said a bad word, grow our businesses as big as we can. Everyone is chasing the next solution instead of mastering one, and that is where solution overwhelm begins. We were determined to create a line that has it all using a very simple and straightforward method. And this method, in my mind, and how I teach it, and what makes the most sense for me and a lot of the artists that I explain it to, is tone versus depth. Two very easy concepts, especially once you get the grasp of them. Basically, bronzers are going to set the tone of brown that you are creating for your client, whereas DHA and rinse time is going to determine the depth of color that you are giving your clients. Once you have these two really down pat, everything kind of comes together and is just so much more simple. Bronzers set the overall tone of the tan by lightly staining the skin for the first 2 to 4 days of a spray tan's life. These tones generally range from cool browns to neutral browns to warm browns, depending on the solution and who they are sprayed on. So this is a perfect example of the same client. I know the lighting's different in both, but you get the gist here. The same client sprayed with 2 different bronzers. One, a very cool brown bronzer over here, and then over here on the right, a very warm brown bronzer. So this is, I'm just gonna say the solutions even though we'll talk about them. Over here we have Smoke Show. This is our ash-based solution. Over here we have Bombshell. This is our red-based solution. So this is just an example of how bronzers can really differentiate the tone of a spray tan. And for many, those first 2 to 4 days of a spray tan's life are crucial, as these are the days when the vacation is, the photo shoot that's booked, the concert that they're going to, or Coachella, the festival, the wedding. You know what I mean there. Being able to customize tone during this time is what's going to set you apart as an artist. And then we have depth, which is just as important as tone. This is going to determine how light or dark the developed outcome will be. And this is determined by DHA percentage, or if you're using a rapid solution, rinse times. Our solutions range from 8 to 16% DHA in both standard and rapid solutions. With glaze, you can create the lightest glow to the deepest, darkest bronze, depending on what you want, what your client wants. Once you understand these two concepts, custom results become very simple. There's no guessing. It's just intentional, well thought out results powered by confidence and your knowledge. So we decided to build something different. I talked about it earlier, but pre-customized bronzers, what does this even mean? Before Glazed Sunless, and I know this because I was using so many different solutions before Glazed Sunless, different solutions came in violet, olive, brown, ash, red, whatever, the list goes on, individually. And I know that artists were always mixing these together, myself included, as I told you guys before, to try to create something new, fun, custom for their clients. I really think this wasn't even going to be part of my presentation, but it just came to me. I really think that the hair industry kind of inspired this. Spray tan artists didn't want to just use one product. We wanted to be like the masters of our art and do something fun and get creative. And so people started mixing different solutions together, even though they maybe didn't have to. And that is something that I did. And basically what I did with Glazed is I took the best custom bronzer blends, balanced them in ratios that create stunning, reliable outcomes, and turned them into a simple lineup of solutions to save you time, money, space, and your sanity. Glazed Sunless was inspired by my very favorite blend of all time, olive, brown, and violet, that I used to hand mix for every single client because I trusted it that much. So with Glazed Sunless, we have a solution for every artist and for every client. Other artists sometimes have 10 to 20 bottles of solution. They're mixing, guessing, they're layering. A glazed spray tan artist chooses the undertone, chooses the depth, and then they're done. So for the artists who like to keep it super simple, because I know they're out there, the solution that I have for you is Glazed Original, and this is the solution that started everything. Like I said, if I did not have this idea, I don't think Glazed would exist today. Actually, I know that it wouldn't. This is our solution that has violet, olive, and brown-based bronzers. It creates a neutral brown universal color on all skin types and undertones. It's great for artists that don't want a complex lineup, but still want to create a custom result. Just because you're not taking the solutions and mixing them together, they're already mixed for you. It comes in 9 and 14% DHA, and these are just a couple of the tans created with Glazed Original, but this truly is a solution. I mean, if you know, you know, this stuff sells out fast. It's amazing. It's incredible. I love it. And so does everyone that I've ever used it on. And then for the artists that want to further customize, because I know firsthand how boring it can get to use the same solution for every single tan. Though it might be consistent, sometimes it gets a little bit repetitive. We decided to add to our lineup because we wanted artists to be able to really be able to customize further if they wanted to. And that is where our color correcting solution comes in. So we have two solutions here. We have one that helps to counteract warm tones in the skin and one that helps to counteract cool tones in the skin. For our warm tone clients, we have AF Violet. So this is a brown and violet bronzer blend. It's great for neutral tone clients or clients with heavy warm tones, and it creates a neutral to cool brown developed outcome. And we have that in 8 and 16% DHA. This is just a little AF Violet in the red dress. And then over here on the right, we have Sunkissed. So this is our solution that is made specially for cool tone clients. So think the really fair skin, the ones with pinks or reds in their skin. That is me to a T. But this is our brown and olive bronzer blend. It's great for neutral tone clients or clients with heavy cool tones. And it creates a neutral to leaning warm brown developed outcome. I see the love for Sunkissed in the comments. Honestly, it's been a while since I've used Sunkissed on myself, since I'm always doing them and documenting them and taking all this content of each one, and I haven't done Sunkissed in about a year maybe. I don't know, close to a year. It's one of my top favorites, and I definitely always remember why I love it every time I do it. Yes, we do have samples on our website. But tans are not always just about color correcting, okay? I added 2 other solutions to our lineup recently because they are very simple. They're very simple to comprehend. One creates a warm brown tan and one creates a cool brown tan. No having to think about counteracting undertones, anything like that. This is very simply laid out. If you want to create a warm brown tan, we have Bombshell. This is a brown-red bronzer blend. It creates a deep, rich, dark brown bronze. It's universal, but it's best for clients who want to achieve super deep, dark color. I like to say that this is the perfect solution for spring and summer. That's why it's flying off of our shelves right now. Bombshell is incredible. It's probably my top favorite solution next to Original. How can I even say that? I love them all, but I really love Bombshell. I love a deep dark tan. It comes in 12% DHA and 16% DHA. And then on the exact opposite of that, we have Smoke Show, which is our cool brown tan. This is brown and ash bronzer blend. It creates a very muted, smoky, natural brown bronze. It is universal, and I like to say that this is the perfect color for fall and winter. So think super natural, maybe for the client that has never had a spray tan and they're super nervous and you don't want to overwhelm them with depth and warmth and you want to keep it very subtle. Smoke Show would be the perfect solution for them. I'm reading your guys' comments as I go too. Do I have problems with Bombshell using it on girls with a pink undertone? No, not at all. I am super pink and I absolutely love it on myself. I would say it's definitely a preference. The bronzer is scary. That is always what I like to preface, and you have to tell people to trust the process when you're working with a red-based bronzer because they're going to look crazy in the beginning. While it's developing, they're gonna look super red, but it is supposed to do that. It's setting the tone of the tan. Is your client gonna be red while it's fully developed? No. But it's setting the tone and it has to be there, and there's a purpose for it being that red. It is like picking your favorite child for sure. You don't need to mix our solutions at all to create a custom tan. We've done all the work for you, but this doesn't mean that you can't, okay? Some of our favorite Glazed Sunless just for fun blends when you're feeling feisty over here. I have seen a lot of people love Original and AF Violet mixed together, Smoke Show and AF Violet, Sunkissed and Smoke Show, Bombshell and Smoke Show. I really inspire or want spray tan artists to feel inspired to have fun. You can mix solutions and you can have fun with it without always being stressed out. So if you ever want to mix solutions, these are the top ones that I see mix the most. Each of our solutions are blended with a neutral brown bronzer, making each of our solutions more universal than not. So this allows you to spray without the stress of a terrible outcome. I will say a lot of times when you're working with the tone that you want to create, it isn't necessarily going to look unnatural on somebody. It's more just a preference thing. Some people prefer more of a cool tone brown. Some people prefer more of a neutral brown tan. Some people prefer that warm depth like me. It really is a preference. There are just ones that are going to complement different undertones and skin types more so than others. But I encourage people to play around and to have fun with it because that's when you become more confident in your skill and what you're doing. Okay, we're going to talk about gloss, and I know a lot of you said you wanted to hear more about gloss. So this is the industry's first hydration and setting post-tan spray. So basically what its purpose is to boost skin hydration, set bronzers, and diminish the tacky spray tan feeling. It has so many benefits besides just being a post-tan hydration spray. The shimmer that I know a lot of you see and the scent are just the added bonus. But really, this stuff is, I like to say it's like the finishing touch for your spray tan. I'm going to show you the shimmer because that is what everyone likes. I don't know if you can see it on here. But it really is just amazing. I wanted to tell you guys how to use it for anyone. Let me see here. Okay, I was just looking at your guys' questions. Yes, gloss can be used in any solution. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to spray your client, give them their normal spray tan. You're going to dry them with your air hose. You're going to put gloss into a separate gun and a separate cup. You're going to mist it over their body. A little bit goes a really long way. You're not basically performing another spray tan service and doing it super slowly and like calculated. It's just a quick mist on the front, a quick mist on the back, and then you're going to dry them quickly. And then whether or not you think that you need drying powder, some people say that they don't, that's totally up to you. Then you would put drying powder on at the end, but it is super easy to use. Can you use it in a continuous spray bottle? No. Well, I tried. So I've tried several different continuous spray bottles. All of them create those little tiny white watermarks almost. I have found that it works best in a professional gun, but if you can find something that will spray fine enough, it would probably work. I just personally couldn't. Haley says 0, bronzer transfer, you guys 0. That was very important to me. I don't know about you guys, but I do not like feeling like I have a spray tan after I get a spray tan at all. And while I will say glazed dries down pretty quickly compared to other solutions I've tried on the market, but I still don't like the smell. So I really wanted to create something that would really diminish that tacky feeling on the skin and set the bronzers to keep them from smudging, which is going to be so helpful this time of year. And gloss has truly done that. So I'm going to do a giveaway. I don't even think Katie knew about this. And we're going to make it fun. So I'm going to give away 5 bottles of gloss. And this is what we're going to do. So, okay. I was thinking, like, how can we make this like Cards Against Humanity? So the worst text to receive from a spray tan client is blank. Okay, the top 5 answers that make me laugh the most are going to win. And I am going to write them down. Wait a second, because I have to find a pen and I don't want your thing to get lost. So don't say anything until I say go. But whatever makes me laugh is who's going to win. And I don't know if I have a pen. Yes, I do. Okay. And it has to be funny. If it's not funny, you're not going to win. All right, go. Got ruined by having sex. Okay, Tanya, you got it. my boyfriend ejaculated on my chest. Oh my god. Okay, these sex ones are funny. Oh my gosh. I peed down my leg. Okay, definitely Tanya's for sure. I have a handprint on my face and it looked like I was slapped. That's pretty funny, Kelsey. Am I supposed to look like a Dalmatian? Yes. Trisha. Laugh too hard. Cat. Okay. Oh, man. Lauren. Okay. Okay, I have my winners. 5. And I'm sure I missed some funny ones, so now I feel bad. I was trying to read as quickly as I can. My winners here are Tanya. I wrote this name down so fast. Kelly. Who was that? K-E. K-E. That was funny. I don't know. Yep, Kelsey. Trisha, Kat, and Lauren. So, you guys are my 5. Basically, if it involves sex, I'm probably going to laugh. Okay, so we got our 5. You guys can send me a message after this, and then I'll just need your address, and then I'll send you your bottle of gloss. Okay. Okay. That was fun. That was funny. We're going to talk about our ingredients really quick. So, first of all, that was funny. Now I'm a little bit distracted. Okay, let's talk about our ingredients. Impactful ingredients. So, all of our solutions, Taylor, all of our solutions are full of very impactful ingredients that I really chose with intention. DHA is an extremely drying ingredient. We wanted to fill our solutions with ingredients that would help counteract that, from nourishing vitamins to barrier boosting botanicals and moisture rich actives. Each and every one of our ingredients serves a unique purpose to give your clients an amazing tan that they keep coming back for, and because we are determined to help your business grow. Ingredients are very important to us. So I'm not going to go through a full rundown of each one, but these are the ones that I like to highlight when I'm just doing presentations like this. So the first one, and at the very top of my list, this is our most active hydrating ingredient, is going to be hyaluronic acid. This is insane moisture. So many skincare ingredients have hyaluronic acid. It brings and attracts moisture to the skin, which is so important because, as I said, DHA is very, very drying. I don't think that people realize or fully know how drying it is. So having ingredients like hyaluronic acid to help combat that it's very, very helpful. Next one, DMI, which some might know as the sweat resistant ingredient, but truly there are so many benefits just beyond that. I don't even really like to call it sweat resistant because it serves such a greater purpose than just that. Basically, its purpose is to bring the active ingredients in spray tan solutions deeper into the epidermis. So it's basically bringing everything further down into the skin, resulting in a longer lasting and more even fading tan than had it not been there at all. And then next one, this is a very natural ingredient, but hibiscus petal is known for being super firming, super hydrating. They like to call it the Botox plant. And then we have squalene, which is, I would say, very, very similar to hyaluronic acid, but just a little less potent. And then we have bamboo extract, watermelon extract, and so many more. There are just so many incredible ingredients in our solutions if you were to really read through and study our ingredient list. But a little note that I always like to say, and I think this is where a lot of people miss the mark in our industry, it is important to remember that ingredients in sunless solutions only go so far and they only last for so long. Eventually, they do lose their staying power, and this is why understanding how spray tans work and how the skin ultimately determines the long-term outcome is key. Client and artist education is everything in this industry, and it goes above all else. So I really encourage everyone to learn all that you can so that you can pass knowledge onto your clients. It will help you immensely as an artist. I wanted to give you guys just a little tip because this is the time of year where everyone wants that deep, dark tan. And I find that a lot of people have a hard time creating it, and not just with Glazed solutions, but with any solution on the market. And I think I finally cracked the code as to why a lot of people can't create the depth that they're wanting to. So I'm going to give you guys my little tip because most of these are all tans that I've done, aside from a couple. I can give a dark spray tan. And one thing I will say is that your application absolutely matters in how you are spray tanning. You don't think about it. A lot of people think it's just the solution. It is not. A lot of it has to do with how you are applying the solution onto the skin. An example of this would be for the first, I would say, 8-9 years of my spray tan business, I worked with a plastic gun, and I loved it. It gave a very heavy, saturated spray. All I ever had to do was one coat, done. My clients were dark. Their developed outcome was dark. And then I switched to a metal gun, and that's when everything clicked for me. With a metal gun, you have to apply a lot more product to get a deep, dark tan. Sometimes you might have to apply 2 coats. Sometimes you might have to apply 3 coats, whereas your plastic you might be able to do that in just 1 coat. So what I think is happening is that a lot of people are not saturating the client's skin enough, and I actually see this all the time. I follow only spray tan artists on Instagram, and I see a lot of tan line pictures, and I just don't see heavy enough saturation often enough. So if you are someone that's struggling with getting a deeper, darker outcome for your clients, that might be just the very quick, simple fix that you need. Another thing I'll say is that clients can typically handle more DHA than you actually think. It's best to err on the side of caution, especially when you're working with a newer client. But once you get to know your client's skin, and once you kind of get that repetition with them and what they can handle and what looks natural and what looks good, you'll find that you more times than not are able to bump up DHA percentage, though I will say everybody is so different. Another tip here, when possible, opt for standard 8-hour developing solutions rather than rapids if you are trying to get that deep dark color. So I would rather have somebody, I'm trying to think here, I would rather have somebody sleep in a 12% DHA overnight if they want to be deep and dark than leave a rapid on for 5 hours. Okay, so that's another thing. All of our solutions are capable of getting dark. They will just pull different tones. Typically, neutral and warm tones will appear darker on the skin. Okay, I am seeing this question. We're almost to the question page, and then I'll answer it. But those are just some of my biggest tips for when it comes to creating a deep dark tan, because we are now to that time of year where that's going to be requested of you more often. And you want to be able to provide that, and it is 100% possible. And then we're getting close to the end here. How much time do I have? Okay, we're good on time. But I wanted to give you guys a little bit something extra because long before I started Glazed Sunless, I was a spray tan artist myself. That is something that I am still so passionate about. I love helping people grow their businesses. While I love talking about product, I love talking about strategy and client retention and things like that, maybe even a little bit more. It really lights me up. So I wanted to leave you guys off with just something that I love and I love talking about, but what grew my spray tan business very fast. This is how I filled my schedule with having a referral program. So word of mouth is proven to be the most effective form of marketing, but it is also the most overlooked. One client can over time lead you to hundreds. So I'm going to share with you guys my referral program and the key to making it work successfully. So a little story on this, and I'm going to try to keep it quick because I wanted to have time for a Q&A. But when I moved to San Diego and I opened my brick and mortar, I didn't know anybody. And within a year, I was voted best spray tan in San Diego, and I had a fully booked schedule. And I would say that I owe a lot of this to having a referral program. So I want to help you guys, for anyone that wants to start utilizing something like this in your business. My very first client that I had, she was a manager at a bar at a popular nightclub. Sorry, I'm reading your guys' comments as I go, but she was a manager at a bar at a really popular nightclub, and I had no idea. And I told her that I had a referral program, and she was my first client, and it ended up being that she knew just about everybody in the local area, and having a referral program and telling her about it literally skyrocketed my business. So you never know what one client that's coming to you can lead you to, and if you can put a strategy behind that to bring more clients in, it really can explode your business. So what I did, basically I would give every single referred client $10 off of their first tan, and then the person that referred them $10 off of their next tan. And this is something that I did for 3 years, and eventually my books were full of new and referred clients that obviously were going to keep coming back. This is something that I really, really believe in, and I talk about it with every spray tan artist just about that I can that needs help growing their business. And I would say the key to making it work successfully is not just posting on social media that you have a referral program. Like, that's not going to cut it. You have to talk about it face to face with every single client that comes in. And you have to make it known that it is how you market. This isn't just something that you do every once in a while when you feel like talking about it. You have to really talk about it. You have to really believe in it. You have to ask clients when they come in, how did you hear about us? Or even better, who referred you? Okay, that makes them know that you have a referral program. But I did want to leave you guys with that instead of only talking about solution, because ultimately I might be a solution owner, but I really, really want to see this industry just explode, and I want to see all of your businesses do so well. And that's just one of the things that you can do to really take it to that next level. When you choose Glazed, you're not just getting solutions or products, you are getting support, education, and a community, me, that will endlessly cheer you on. Okay, we are done. I'm gonna see if I can close out of this. Let me see. Actually, stop sharing. Okay, we're gonna get to questions once I can get my screen back on over here. If I can figure out how to get to my chat. There it is. So I remember Katie saying at one point that we could bring people on to the screen, and I just want to see some like faces. So I don't know if that's possible. Chat, where is it? There it is. Studio chat? No. I don't know where our chat is. There it is. Okay, I don't know how I can bring anyone up on here. Okay, oh, there you are.
Love. Okay, so if you want to hop on the screen with Audrey, at the bottom of the page, it's going to say live request call in. So just click on that and I can bring you up.
Okay, if you want to come on, we could take a picture together. But if not, I will answer questions over here in the chat. And I'll just do as many as I can. So I'm going to start with Gina because that's the one that I see. Why do I choose to sleep in 12% rather than sleep in 14% DHA for the darkest tan? I would say it really depends. I personally would actually rather sleep in a 14% DHA. That's what I would rather do. I think maybe you're thinking about when I said I would rather sleep in a 12% then leave a rapid on for 5 hours. And I would say because rapids can be kind of inconsistent with the timing, you really never know with a rapid what DHA percentage you're actually going to reach because everybody's skin is so different. Whereas with a 12% DHA, you know your skin is going to reach 12% DHA. Been wanting to incorporate referrals, but unsure of the best way to keep track of it. So what I did, and it was kind of a mess. In the beginning, I had a notebook, and I would write it down. And then it definitely outgrew the notebook, and it became a mess. So what I did was I had my booking app on my phone, and whenever a client would come in that said they were referred, I would go to the client that referred them in their little notes section and just write it in the notes. So if you have a booking app that really supports like notes and client notes, that's where I kept track of everything. Is there a giveaway besides gloss? There is not a giveaway besides gloss. The question about metal gun or plastic gun being better, I did not see that question. What do you think about scent additives? I think that they are great if you like them. We actually have them. They're called Golden Hour. They smell so good. But yeah, I think they're great, especially if they smell good. I love a scent. Some people don't, so it's definitely something that maybe you would want to offer rather than just like automatically put in. Which gun do I like better, metal or plastic? this is a common debate. I love a plastic gun because they saturate heavier, and I just feel like, yeah, I'm all about that saturation. I want something where I could do a spray tan quick and have it be saturated, and a lot of my clients, especially in San Diego, they like to be dark, and I feel like that's really how I got that result for them quickly, rather than having to layer a bunch of coats on them. But I also do like the precision that comes with a metal gun. They're so different, but I prefer, for sure, plastic. Okay, here's a question. What do I think about adding heat to product, heat to market as sweat resistant, since all of our solutions now have DMI? Yes, all of our solutions do have DMI. So I came out with heat before our solutions had DMI. Now I ultimately just market heat as a clear solution. Dang, I was trying to think the finer mist was better, but low-key, you knew the plastic was better. I wouldn't say necessarily better. I think fine mist is really great for maybe like a newer spray tan artist or somebody that just wants more control, because if you've ever used a plastic gun, you know that they do spray pretty heavy. And if you're not really confident and you're just getting the hang of things, a heavy spray might not be the best option in the beginning. So it's really a preference. Okay. We have about 10 more minutes. Does heat and gloss really make the tan last longer? So heat has DMI in it. All of our solutions have DMI in it. I would never say that it's a holy grail ingredient. You still have to treat your tan and your skin good. But yes, ingredient-wise, they will make your tan last longer, but you still have to take just as good of care of your tan. Okay, Taylor, I'm gonna read yours. I have started and stopped a couple of times. And I feel I've lost trust and reputation. Any tips on gaining clientele besides referral programs? I fear maybe I messed it up. I would say, I don't think that you've lost trust or your reputation, because a lot of people start and stop spray tanning. I've had friends that have started and stopped so many times because it just comes through different phases of their lives, and it's a skill that they always go back to. I would say my biggest piece of advice is really get active on social media, and just sharing more about yourself and what you're doing, and maybe saying why you've started or stopped so many times, and maybe you don't want to get into such the detail of that, but being really transparent with people goes a very long way. And people like to see it. So maybe sharing more of your journey as a spray tan artist and what else you do. People like to see that, and I think that could, if any trust has been lost, which I highly doubt, that could definitely bring people back. And Jen says maybe a rebrand. Yes, like something like that. Definitely bringing it in more of a positive light. Thoughts on adding an odor blocker to gloss to cover the spray tan smell? That's another thing I forgot to add. Gloss is an odor blocker. So as long as you're spraying it right underneath the armpits, you're good to go. A lot of times people don't know that spray tan smell is actually usually caused by the skin's pH balance, not the spray tan solution. But gloss is pH balanced, so as long as you are spraying it underneath the arms where usually that smell is coming from, it will block the spray tan smell. I can't wait to see how we all implement this week into our business. I know, it's really cool. I love that Katie did this. It's so fun. Could you apply gloss before and after for extra hydration? My clients are flaky dry. I would not. I would just apply it right afterwards. I've never tested it before, but with the shimmer that's in it, I don't know if I would want to apply a spray tan on top of this. Also, with the ingredients that are in this that help to set the tan, I would just use it as directed and do it right after, and they'll get that same amount of hydration. Haley, do I do mentor calls? I do. I don't really ever promote them, but I actually do pretty often. I have a few people that I've mentored for the past few years. But yeah, I do, and I love to. Does gloss come in a sample size? No, it does not. At least not yet. I've been thinking about using glaze for a while, but haven't pulled the trigger. Now I'm sold. Okay, Madison, I'm curious, what about today made you feel like you are now sold? I'm very interested to hear that. The Glazed Facebook page is phenomenal. Thank you. It's hard to manage, so that means a lot. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Okay. Did I ever use loyalty cards? I did not ever use loyalty cards. Actually, I take that back. I did a very, very, very long time ago. But in recent years, no. And then, how did I find that in brand ambassador? What brand ambassador are you referring to? Oh, the girl from the club. She just found me on social media. One thing about me, I am very active on social media. My screen time is insane. If you guys saw it, you'd probably just be ashamed of me. But I'm always working from my phone. I'm always networking. I am always messaging people. That person in particular, I more than likely messaged her and said, hey, introduced myself, said a little bit about who I was, and invited her in for a spray tan. That's probably how she came to be. But I used to do that all the time. A lot of other spray tan art businesses use glaze in my area. Now I see why. Oh, thank you. Loved your knowledge on tone versus depth. Yes, I feel like a lot of people overcomplicate it or allow it to overcomplicate in their mind rather than just really thinking about it for what it is. And that's what it is. And once you know it, it just makes everything so much easier. Okay, last question for Smoke Show Rapid. What's the rinse time for a medium tan? So the max time for like the ultimate depth is 6 hours. So whenever I'm thinking light, medium, dark when working with a rapid, I always cut that in half. So I would say around, with half of 6, around 3 hours for most is going to be the perfect medium. But everybody takes to DHA at a different rate. It's actually like very interesting. I didn't know all of this until I started getting into product development and talking with cosmetic chemists. But everyone takes DHA at a different rate, fun fact. And yeah, so I always like to say rinse times are very general, and that if everyone was the same, 3 hours would be the perfect medium with a rapid. Or with our rapids, I should say. Every rapid on the market is so different. Definitely going to be ordering, stuck to one brand, but you need to venture out. Aww. Just started using it 2 weeks ago. The way this, oh, thank you. It really is just like, it's so great. There is a discount code. I gave it to Katie. I want to say it's just Solution Week. So if you use Solution Week, you will get a discount on an order. And yeah, we have everything in stock right now aside from Smoke Show 8%. But everything else is in stock. And yeah, you feel like you're struggling, deciding to carry classics versus rapids. You have a couple classics. I think that having a variety of both is so important because you're always going to get clients that have different needs. Not everyone can rinse in rapid time, especially if you're tanning in the night, like from 5 to 7. Not everybody can rinse in rapid time, so having some good standard 8-hour solutions on hand it really is just like helping your clients out more than anything. So having a good variety of DHA percentages is definitely the way to go. Okay. I think we got to a lot of the questions here. You're stuck on which rapids and which overnights to carry. If you are talking about glazed, 100% message me. I can help you with that. We can get you like a really simple lineup of both. I've never had a girl sleep in it. I'm terrified it will mess up. You just have to tell them, wear long clothes, don't touch your skin, and that's the way that spray tans used to be. Rapids have not always been a thing. I would say within the past, probably like 3 years, they've gotten more popular, but we didn't used to have rapids, and everyone slept in their tan. That was just the way that it went. And it was rare that things ever really got messed up. You just have to know how to educate your clients, which is saying, don't touch your skin. And don't sweat. You have to give them a list of rules. But both definitely have their benefits. Okay, it is 3. I had an hour. You're the best. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, last question. We're going to do Naomi's really quick. For a type 1 or 2 brides, what do you recommend? I would say any of our solutions you can use on a bride. I've sprayed a bride in every one of our solutions. It ultimately just depends on their skin tone and what tone of brown they want to be, and if you're trying to counteract any undertones in their skin. But yeah, okay. Thank you guys for showing up here. I'm glad that I didn't know how many people would show up because it was the middle of the day, but we got a good turnout. Anyway, have a good rest of your solution week and have fun. Thank you, Katie.